Hey guys, what's going on? So, just a quick update of what's been going on with me. I haven't been online in a while. I've been unplugged from the cryptocurrency world for a little while. I was out in the backcountry, gone for a good long hike. Actually got stuck in some rain, so rain and really bad wind, actually up to like 80 km/h, well, even almost upwards towards 100 at time with the gusts. So anyways, came back here a little earlier after being expected to be away for a while, and back to the crypto world and all the madness that's been going on here. So first off guys, make sure to subscribe down below if you're interested in more of what's going on here, and hit that like button if you find anything useful in this video. Also, this isn't financial advice, guys. You know as well as I do. This is just me talking about, cryptocurrency. It's just me talking. Don't take this as any advice in any way, shape, or form, please. So, let's move on. A couple things to talk about today. I've been doing a lot of research. Bittrex has been frustrating me a little bit lately. I've sent them a few tickets regarding an issue I'm having with my completed orders. If any of you are having a similar issue, let me know, but as far as I know, the other people that I've spoken to aren't having this issue. I know they changed their policy, which is a whole nother thing that I'm not super stoked about, but the issue that I'm having is my completed orders are not all showing up down at the bottom in my history, which is a little bit irritating because it's nice to see all of my completed orders to know, my prices and stuff. Luckily, I have been keeping track of them on an app called Blockfolio, and moving most of my orders onto a Excel spreadsheet so I can keep track of them on my own. But keep backups of your trades if you want to keep track of everything, because you can't rely on exchanges to necessarily always be up and running, let alone even keep your money safe in some cases. I'm not trying to spread fear. I don't they have been responding, but just very cookie cutter responses. Oh, your issue is most likely revolved around our changes to our policy. Please review our policy. No, it has nothing to do with your policy changes. Please look at my actual issue. Read the problem that I'm having instead of just sending me a cookie cutter response, please. It'd be really nice. So yeah, anyways, a little bit frustrated with Bittrex. But yeah, onto their policy changes. There's a few things to talk about there. The thing that I find bothersome is, after, I think it's 30 days or so, they essentially are getting rid of stale orders, which I think is a little bit, it would make sense, it clears up their order books and stuff, less stuff to keep track of on their servers or whatever. But what it's doing for me is every month I'm going to have to go in and put back in my orders, my resting orders for all my sell orders, for all of the positions that I had planned to sell at my given price. So it's just giving me a ton of work because they don't want to do what, in my opinion, is something that they should be keeping track of. Like, I understand if you have, a bunch of buy orders, but if you have orders to close your position, I don't think they should be able to close that, within any time period, because it's good to cancel. It's good till you decide to cancel it. So now that they have a 30-day time limit, honestly, that makes me just want to move that, and combined to the fact that I can't see all of my history, that just makes me want to look around for other exchanges. So feel free to comment down below. I am here in Canada, so I don't know if any of you fellow Canadians know of any good exchanges to buy and sell coins on. I'm gonna look into a few, but it's not my main focus right now, to be honest. Right now I'm just kind of holding on to them, waiting for them to flip around. A couple of them have, which is awesome. I'm doing overall fairly well on those coins that I'm holding. Of course, with Bitcoin going to the moon, I don't necessarily, or as high as it's going. Actually, I just checked before coming in here, and it's almost at $10,000 US. I mean, it's 9,000 something anyway. And Canadian, it's almost at like 12 grand. You know, $12,000 for one Bitcoin. That is insane. You know, just a few months ago, I was buying it at, you know, $4,000, and that seemed high. You know, like, so anyways, just gives you a whole different perspective. So there's a lot of Bitcoin FOMO going on. It seems like the order books, or it's just exploding. You know, a lot more people are interested in it. A few of my friends are interested in it. You know, people are seeing the price explode, and they're just like, I got to get on this. And I mean, that's not necessarily, I guess, a healthy way to get into something. But I mean, as long as you're not betting the house sort of thing, I guess it's okay. But you know, I'm a big fan of, as I've said in the past, buying a little bit as you go up. But recently, I haven't taken, I guess, advantage of my capital. Oh no, I've still taken advantage of my capital, but just not in the same way. I haven't been putting as much capital towards Coinbase, and instead took a good chunk of capital and decided to invest in some mining equipment. You know, I don't like how centralized I was, you know, with all of my things. You know, Coinrium was a scam, yeah, fine, or it didn't work out. It was more of a gamble, I guess, than an investment. But even some of these other things that I'm invested in on Hashflare or Bittrex, you know, who knows when these things are going to shut down, and you know, or something could happen. I don't know if they're going to shut down, but you know what I mean? Like, they're reputable as far as we know so far, but like, who really knows what's going to happen? So I'd like to have some of my money, not all, you know, online. I'd like to control a little bit more of it. So anyways, I want to decentralize my investments, I guess. So I did a lot of research. You know, I dug through a lot of the numbers of the different, you know, graphics cards and stuff, and I feel like I got a fairly good grasp on things. Everybody seems to have a lot of different opinion about, you know, it all depends on what coin you're mining and so on and so forth. And so in the meantime, while I'm waiting for my graphics cards to arrive, we'll do a video on that in the future, so I won't get into all the nitty-gritty details of, you know, what I bought and you know, why I chose that, unless you guys want that. If you guys are interested, hit me up in the comments. I'll definitely do a future video on that, on all, you know, the process that I went through on choosing what I decided to choose. Without a doubt, mining has decreased in payout. You know, you don't it's not worth as much as it used to be even just a few months ago. So I'm definitely not in it at the best time possible. But regardless, I just want to do this. I want to experiment with this. So I'm not, you know, buying a ton of mining equipment. I'm getting a few cards, and we're gonna kind of test that out. In the meantime, I've been testing with my GTX 970 that I've got in my computer now, kind of optimizing that and just playing around with different ways of mining. So I initially started with NiceHash, which I realize isn't really mining. It's essentially, you're just loaning your CPU power out so that other people can buy it at whatever price, and you know, they can use your CPU power for their advantage to mine the coins that they choose. At least that's my rough understanding of it. So you're not essentially mining, you're just getting paid out what somebody else is willing to pay for your hash power. So I mean, it can be profitable. It has been profitable in the past. It's still semi-profitable, but it's not what I'm thinking of doing anymore based on the rest of my research that I've done. So instead, I'm going to look at doing more of a mine and hold, I guess you could say. So I'm going to mine a type of coin for a while, hold on to it, and wait for it to increase in value and sell it at a later time. At least that's my intention. So right now, I've experimented with mining ZenCash since I am on an NVIDIA card. I'm focusing on the Equihash algorithm right now. I may experiment with some other things. I've also tried mining Vertcoin, which is a different algorithm, but I've yet to actually receive anything from that. I'm learning a lot about pool allocation, or like selecting a pool, through Vertcoin. I realized, the pool I was in was a smaller pool. I was just experimenting, testing it out, supporting a fellow YouTuber actually, and that I have done a lot of research with, and I enjoyed his content, and he has his own pool, so I decided to try it. And I mean, nothing against the pool. It's just I haven't seen any payout yet, and I suppose that's normal for a smaller pool. That you won't receive a payout until the pool itself actually receives a payout. So if I could be mining for a couple days before I see any Vertcoin in my wallet. So I'm not super keen on like the riskiness of that in a smaller pool. So I went back to my ZenCash mining, which I was doing on I think it's called Supernova Pool or something along those lines. And anyways, it actually took me a little while to get it all set up. There's a lot of content out there on how to get it all set up, but if anybody wants to know, any of you have any questions on your setup, because I definitely did, hit me up again down below. I'll do my best. I'm really new to this, but we can all learn from each other, help each other out. So far, I've been able to get approximately like 22. So I'm trying to get my rig, my small rig, my 970 that I'm mining on right now, while I'm waiting for my other cards to come in. Basically, the rig is only mining. I'm able to get up to like say 300 souls at most, but it's not very stable. It crashes, like the miner will shut off, and I'll get a black screen for a second, and then it'll go back. The worst that happens if I try to push it a bit too hard is the computer will restart, or I'll have to physically hit the restart button, because the computer just doesn't seem to do anything other than black screen anymore, and like the displays aren't connected to the card or whatnot. So I just reset, everything starts back up. I don't get any Windows has restarted on improperly or anything. So my theory is that it's not doing a whole lot of damage, especially since I'm not overclocking my power absurdly. I'm actually underclocking the power, as a lot of miners do, and reducing the power and overclocking my some of the other values. Anyways, still experimenting, still figuring it out. It's going to be a long process, it looks like. Over time, each card seems different, and each algorithm you can tweak slightly more. I noticed on Vertcoin it seems to crash a lot more with the settings that I have very seemingly well tweaked for around, between 275 and 290 souls on Zen. It crashes getting like 22 mega hash on Vert. But not crashes right away, but it crashes. It doesn't run 24 hours or something. But I've only had a couple of tests, within that time frame. So more recently, when I've turned it off and left it running with my settings in, it's actually ran the full time. I've realized a couple, most of the blocks are accepted, but a couple are refused. Sometimes that happens when you're pushing your card too much, from what I've gathered. Again, really new. Hit me up if anybody knows why I'm getting maybe just a few refused, or if it's normal to have just a few refused. If you have 3,000 to 3 refused, if that's like a good benchmark, or if that's normal, or if you should never have, if you should be 100% efficient all the time ideally. And if that's the case, maybe I have to change my values a little bit. But yeah, anyways, still playing with it. I'm sure I can get better if I keep putting some time into it. But essentially, I think that's all I'm going to do for now until my cards get here in the next few days. and then we'll do maybe a little video on setting all that up. I've got an old motherboard and basically a few components that I didn't have to buy to build my mining rig, and I'm gonna try to get them working all together with these newer components. And if not, my backup plan is to just throw them in my computer that I have right now and mine when I'm not creating content or gaming or doing whatever else. Yeah, I guess just one quick talk about all the fork madness, the Fork-mania, guys. What is going on with all these forks? You can't keep track of them. All right, like we have Bitcoin fork with Bitcoin Cash. I wasn't around really paying much attention to Bitcoin back then, but it had its first. Maybe I'm missing some in between, but it had its it had a fork anyway, and created Bitcoin Cash. So you had Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. And then a little later we have Bitcoin Gold squeezing in there right before what was supposed to happen with SegWit 2x. So now we have Bitcoin Gold. SegWit 2x is postponed, so we don't have that. And now this other one that just snuck in there underneath seemingly everybody's radar. I actually saw a post about it, or a web page of Bitcoin Diamond. Apparently, I actually thought it was just like another, scam thingy. I thought it was fake news. Let's put it that way. But apparently it's not. It seems like it already went through successfully, and I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of, like, if you want to create another coin, why don't you just create another coin? Why do you need Bitcoin's name? It to me just screams money grab, But that's just my own opinion. Take it or leave it, guys. But it looks like there's potential for a lot of money to be made, Like, I guess it's nice getting free coins once these coins do come out and actually are on, an exchange or whatever. But it seems like people just dump them right away in general, unless somebody has a plan or to pump it in a later date or something, who knows. But this is just from my very narrow window. But yeah, it's madness. There's just so much going on as far as just on Bitcoin. And it seems like Bitcoin has really stolen the spotlight. And only now, just recently, we got Litecoin and Ethereum kind of bumping back up and showing some new highs, and a lot of these other coins, some are hurting, some are, still jumping in there and getting some gains. But, in general, there's a lot of, like, stale movement or downward movement with the Bitcoin rise, I guess, comparatively, because it's all compared to Bitcoin. But yeah. Anyways, hope you guys like my little rant that I just went on. Not really, there's no real content to watch right now. My computer's actually mining / we're doing some editing for another channel that I'm doing as well. So, hope you guys like the content, guys. Again, please subscribe down below and hit that like button, and we'll see you guys next time.